Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Seneca County Commissioner meeting, Thursday, April 14th at 10 a.m. This is regular board session. Commissioner Kirschner is with us via Zoom, and we'll start the meeting with the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Commissioner Kirschner, would you like the prayer this morning?
Sure.
Thank you.
Please bow our heads for a moment. Heavenly Father, we ask for your gentle hand touching us and allowing us to make the decisions that are not only in the best interest of our citizens, but also your will. We recognize that this is a very holy week, and we thank you for your sacrifice so that we may all live forever. We ask in a special way that you watch over those people who are in war-torn countries, and we ask you to protect those people protecting our freedoms. We ask all this through your Son. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Here.
Commissioner Schupp,
Here.
Commissioner Kirschner.
Here.
I will accept a motion to approve the digital audio-video recording of the previous board session from Thursday, April 7th, in our regular session.
So moved.
Commissioner Kirschner seconds it. Right, Commissioner? Okay, I'll second it.
Yes, I did.
I guess he did. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kirschner,
Yes.
Commissioner Schupp,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. Okay, we good?
Yep.
Okay, so we have a busy morning with about 5 scheduled appointments in a row. And Stacy, unless you have anything else, we'll start with our course of renewal.
Perfect.
And the members that are here for the renewal, please come up to the front, introduce yourselves, and the floor is yours. If you scratch your nose or anything, remember you're on camera.
Scratch okay.
We've got cameras at all angles, so welcome to Seneca County.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity. I'm Andy Steffi with UIS Insurance. My right-hand person that really does all the work, Jessica Luters. And as we walked over, I was trying to make sure I had the title right. Managing Director, or of course a dude, John Brown.
Mr. Brown, thank you. Yeah,
Thank you. So the agency's had the good fortune of partnering with the county for many, many years and been with Corsa for a long time. I provided a quick summary of the premium comparison from last year to this year. You're going to see that it's about a 4.3% increase, but as we were talking, it's a little bit of a, it's not actually an increase if you take into consideration the credit that Corsa provided last year due to COVID. That was almost a $9,000 credit last year.
Yeah.
So if you were to take that out of the equation, we're really looking at a flat renewal, which I can speak to what's going on in the property casualty world. We are not seeing flat renewals. We're seeing, on the lucky low end, 5 to 8%. In many cases, it's 10, 15, 20%, specifically on property renewals. And this is an extremely property-heavy risk. So again, I don't pay the bill, but I was extremely pleased to see what's going on with the Corsa program. So this shows a little bit of the exposures and how they rated from one year to the next. We also included a very detailed, somewhat hard to read report of the claims history over many, many years, but the county has been performing extremely well. So I'm here and happy to answer any specific questions that we may have, but your team here, Stacy, Jamie, I mean, are fantastic, and you guys do a great job utilizing the resources that Corsa provides. So it's something you're all well versed in. I don't want to belabor the point. If you have any questions, I'm happy, and John wanted to talk a little bit about Corsa and their direction.
Yeah, no, and I think for the public's, to update the public, Stacy, our county administrator, and then Jamie's our HR person, but she's also in charge of risk management. and pushing out all these great programs to the electeds and the people in the county. And so, Mr. Brown, if you could say what you were going to say, but maybe give us a little background on Corsa
Sure.
for the benefit of
Sure.
the public.
So back in 1987 is when Corsa came about. The legislators went over to the State House, changed some legislation to allow counties, municipalities, townships, and governmental entities to pool their risk together. The reason they did that was because back in 1987, the carriers pulled out of Ohio and would no longer insure public entities. So they had to do something. So back in 1987, Corsa started with 9 counties. Seneca County came on in 1988. So you're one of the first to be in there. So it's been a very successful program. So we've grown it from those brave 9 to we have 66 counties now, and we also have about 42 entities, juvenile detention centers, jails, et cetera, et cetera. But we do nothing but insurance for counties. So that's that. I do want to reinforce what was said here about the staff, though. So this year, because of the staff's hard work, we have a thing called a loss control incentive program. Staff has to do certain things that are good sound risk management. Because of their hard work, he received $18,000 back in credit. So, I mean, kudos to everybody that participates in that. The other thing that I would like to talk about is the Corsa Board of Directors has been very fiscally responsible with your money. We have a nice fund set up to make sure that not only that we pay claims now, but well into the future, and we sustain business well into the future. But one of the things they did this year, because of the tough insurance market, is they took some more of that equity. So they already allocated $2.4 million in dividend. They allocated another $750,000 to offset some of what Andy was talking about, the reinsurance costs that we're seeing that are going up. So I just want to reinforce everything that's going on here. In anticipation of next year's renewal, I will tell you there's going to be 2 difficult pieces of business for us to place. We'll be able to, we'll find it, but it's going to be law enforcement liability and it's going to be cyber. So with our grant program this year, there's some monies in there that you can look at for cyber if you haven't already used them. But we probably will be required by our reinsurance carrier to have multi-factor authentication in place.
And for certain that.
Good. So that's one thing that we're going to have. So there's money available to offset some of that cost. So, but with that, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for your time. I know you have a busy agenda today, and we really appreciate you being members of our organization.
See if Commissioner Kirschner, any comment?
No. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Shaw?
So with some of the changes coming down with cybersecurity or the 2-factor authentication and the different law enforcement, is that across the board with all the different counties?
Yes.
Or ours in particular? Okay.
Yeah.
The multi-factor authentication, cyber, that is not an option in any circumstance. We've had multiple of our private industry clients that those cyber renewals are 50% higher than they were last year in cost. And if you didn't answer certain questions, you were not getting a renewal quote. I've been in the business for over 25 years, and it's been a long time since we've had a hard market. This is a cyber hard market. I personally think that in 2 years it's going to be uninsurable. It's going to be a governmental thing. So it's scary.
I agree. So
We just talked about that.
Yeah.
Jamie, you want to add anything? Stacy, we good?
Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
Thanks for coming out.
You bet. Have a great meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. So Charlene, can you move ahead of the bid opening maybe?
I can. We'll take 5 minutes, but yeah.
So next we have Charlene Watkins from Regional Planning coming up to talk about sewer district software. And this gets a little confusing, I think, for the public, Charlene, as far as what the sewer districts are. And you might want to just give a little overview of how many users and the 5, et cetera, before you go into your software.
Sure. So Seneca County as a whole has 1 sewer district. Under that sewer district, we have 5 sub-districts. Those 5 sub-districts are Bascom, New Riggle, Honey Creek, Hammer Heinsman, and 23-224. We have approximately 475 customers total. That's between business, personal, residential, all the good stuff. So that's our basics.
Hey.
The county has a sanitary engineer, which is the county engineer, Mark Zimmerman. So when we talk sewer district, I'm not a sanitary engineer, I'm an administrator, so, and I don't want to be a sanitary engineer, so don't ask me any sanitary engineering questions. We go through Mark on those.
If I may interject to put a plug in for Engineer Zimmerman, he, at no extra cost to the district, so he's the county engineer, but the sewer falls under him. He puts a lot of time and resource, he puts a lot of time in overseeing the various pumps and the districts and all the hardware that goes on in Bascom and New Riggle. And so I want to give him a lot of credit. And without him and everything he does, the cost to operate this thing would be even higher. And this is a private district, so the 470 some users, they have to pay whatever the total cost to run this is. The county general fund does not pay that. The villages, the township trustees, the people pay it. And regional planning is in charge of the billing. And so I'll just segue to you, but I want to make sure people understand the bigger picture. So thank you.
So we are the administrator, regional planning is the administrator of the sanitary district for the county. And about 2020, I started looking at new software. We currently use QuickBooks, and it's just really not effective, but it was covering what we needed, we thought, for the bases. When we started reviewing different costs for software, what really came into play is that our customer load is less than 500, so our costs are much higher. All costs were anywhere between $35,000 to $80,000 to get new software. So in 2021, we just opted to upgrade our QuickBooks software and be done with it. Well, 2021, we had a state audit, and the state auditor basically said, you're doing a portion of the function in QuickBooks, but QuickBooks cannot do one of the things you're required to do. We have a workaround, but the workaround really isn't good. So really that brought it back up that we have to get new software. So we took into consideration the previous quotes that we did, and then Stacy Wilson and Julie Adkins, the county auditor, got a hold of Tyler Tech and asked them to do a demonstration for us as well. So we've, since 2020, I've been through 3 or 4 different demonstrations. I looked at different options, talked to different municipalities. Then this one came up, and so we sat through that demonstration. When we sat through that demonstration, we decided, it has the best features out of anything we've seen. It's the most user-friendly. It will be very useful for our customers or citizens, however you would like to put that. So we kind of talked about it a little bit. We got the quotes back, and then we decided, well, let's get together as a team and start talking about this seriously. So we met with Commissioner Paradiso, Mark Zimmerman, Julie Adkins, my team, some people from the auditor's office, and Stacy sat in on those. And we just kind of talked about the process, what we need to do, what features we need, what we don't need, how we need people to access this. We went through another small little Q&A, which we probably had about 4 or 5 total Q&A virtual calls with Tyler Tech. Boils down to they are probably our favorite provider out of all of them. And so we asked them to update their quotes. We negotiated some prices. They had 2 options for us. They have what they call a SaaS-based. And a SaaS-based is basically a virtual on-the-cloud-based system. That system backs up automatically to a secondary backup. It updates automatically. It's very cost-effective for what it does. And remember, it's still expensive. Cost-effective and expensive is what it is. The server-based, pretty close to the same product, except it's server-based. The upfront cost is much more than the upfront cost with the cloud-based, and it will be ineffective in 5 years. So that's a big concern when we met, is the effectiveness of this. In 5 years, we're gonna, we're investing quite a bit of money. We want to look at putting a large sum into this. In 5 years, is this going to still be effective? If not, are we going to have to reinvest another $50,000, $60,000 into this software? Well, we determined that we wanted to be effective, wise and prudent with the funds, and not put a huge burden on the taxpayer. So what we determined was that the cloud-based is probably our best bet at this point. So to talk about how much these things cost, because that's what everybody wants to know, and then we can talk a little bit more about, why we would like to go this direction, just in comparison, the cloud-based system, the first time, one-time fee, which is they're all set up and licensing and all the good fees, is $34,810. Then there is an annual fee of $18,600, okay? So that's for the cloud-based service. If we do the server-based service, which I'm sure you can tell is not where I'm at, the upfront fee is $59,173, with recurring fees of $10,443 every year. So, while on the short end, you look at it and you go, oh, the server base probably looks like a better deal, but if you think about in 5 years, we're going to have to redo this all over again, it's really not a good deal because it's not a cost savings for us. So, we then have to consider how are we going to pay for this. One of the requirements of having a sanitary sewer district is that we have to have a replacement and improvement fund. We have a very nice replacement and improvement fund that has over $400,000 in it, and that allows us to do things that for the sewer district, to upgrade equipment, put in new pumps. If there's a large, I don't know, I'm not the engineer, but if something breaks and it needs fixed, we can tap into that if we have to. I'm not the person to ask what taps in and breaks. I just mark it broke. Can we use money? So when I'm looking at that, I said, well, let's ask the county prosecutor if we can use the funds towards this project. First determination was yes, we can use them for the upfront cost. My theory is the first year fee is during the whole setup process because it's going to take about 9 to 12 months to set up. Our citizens will not be utilizing that service during that first 12 months. So I don't feel it's fair to push that cost off onto the citizen. So I went back to Derek and said, hey, can we use this replacement and improvement fund for that one-time annual fee for the first year due to these circumstances? The answer is yes. So to me, that's a huge win because that takes some more burden off of our taxpayers because we already have the money sitting there. So I have submitted appropriation requests to appropriate funds out of the replacement and improvement fund for the one-time cost and then the annual fee for 2022, okay? So what does this do for us and how is it necessary and how is it going to make sense? Really what it does, in the end, it gets us the software we need for the state auditor, doing the functions the state auditor says we need to do. And if you're used to dealing with auditors, which all of us, I know on this side of the room are very used to it. On this side of the room, I'm not sure, but we're very used to it and we know that when the state auditor says, we really think you should change this, it means you better do it. So,
That's what it means to me.
so we are very serious about getting this changed and fixed so we don't have any issues in the future. The other issue is when we have with QuickBooks, and today is just a great example, when our team goes to open QuickBooks to start processing payments or doing billing, it takes 15 to 20 minutes just to open the program. And that's not a good use of time, and it's not good for our citizens or customers when they call in. So Crystal's really great at telling me about once every month, 1 week, every day, I hear how long it takes to open it, and she's frustrated because she's sitting there waiting for it to open. She can't do her job, so this will eliminate that time lag, okay? The other nice thing about it is when a citizen calls in and is asking questions about their account, we really just have to get their basic information, phone number, and call them back because who wants to sit on hold for 20 minutes while our software boots up? Nobody does. And it's just poor customer service to leave somebody sit there. So we always call them back after it gets all open and booted up and call them back and go through everything they need to go through. This is going to eliminate that and we'll be able to do immediate assistance. The new software package will also allow our customers to go online and review their account. They can't do that now. You know, if you have your utility bills, your electric bill, you can go on to AEP or North Central Electric's website and look at your usage. You can look at your payment history, your billing history. You can't do that with our software right now. You'll be able to do that with the new software. So those are some great things. Tony always likes to know, you know, how's this breakdown to help per each customer? And I think that's a great question to ask. So what I did is I just kind of ran a basic on average every year, how much is this going to cost per customer? So it breaks down to, if we estimate about 475 customers, it breaks down to $39.16 per year per customer, or per quarter, which we bill on a quarterly rate, is $9.79 per quarter, but per month it's $3.26. So, small increase, but that's not going to be something we're looking at until 2023. So, it's just, we can't pay for that, but it's going to have to process over. One of the other great things that we're excited about is this software will allow us to send out notices via text, email, phone calls, or by mail, depending on what the customer wants. So you can get payment reminders, you can get, if Mark calls and says, hey, New Riggle's going to be down on this road, we're putting in a new line or something, we can send out a mass notice to everybody via that. We also will be able to email statements and bills. So this is a great cost savings on that side of it. I can't tell you how much it's going to be, but we'll have a nice little cost savings on that to kind of offset that expense.
So the
for the customer.
district itself will save on postage
Yeah.
because they pay all that.
And some personnel costs and
That'll
other
help,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to just do like the handwritten paid receipts?
We do that for some, which we will always do. When someone comes in, if they pay in cash, we always give them a handwritten receipt. Some who pay in checks want receipts, so we're glad to give them that. We at Regional Planning feel that using the cloud-based or SaaS-based version is going to be the best option for the county, sewer district, and for all of us and stay effective. That is what we are asking from the commissioners, is to sign off on the quote today and allow us to move forward with the contracting. We need to have this done as soon as possible. And if it takes a year to get it implemented, the sooner we get this going, the better off we are. Anybody have any questions for
I
me?
have a few comments, but I'll ask the other commissioners to speak first. Commissioner Schuff, we'll start with you.
You might have mentioned this in the report you just given, but was there multiple quotes, or was there just,
Yeah,
okay.
I've been doing quotes since 2020, so.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. Commissioner Kirschner?
No, I don't have any comment. Understand how many needed, so we should move forward.
Thank you. I just want everyone to know that we thought about and talked about this a lot. I don't like this. We don't like spending money. And for the example, the poor citizens of the village of New Riggle who have the highest sewer bills in the county, even though it's $3.26, we really are sensitive to that. I see Mayor Harrison in the back of Bethville, who, they have a sewer, water, Attica. This program is kind of a little bit overkill for what we need, but to get a sewer package, you have to buy kind of a utility package. And so I think we did a good job in negotiating the best we could for it. Going forward, as commissioners, it was brought to our attention in 2020 through our state audit that this was a concern. So in 2021, the problem with the audits are they delay. So here we are in 2022. We had findings in 2020. So in 2021, when we get our audit, this is going to come up again. However, in 2021, we did, and Paul's here from Regional Planning, we've talked about this, we've made some changes, Mayor Harrison too, internally in your procedures and in our policies, and so we'll be able to demonstrate that what we learned from 2020, staying with the software system we had, we did the best we could, but we changed a few things to kind of appease everybody, which I think was good. And then we'll be able to say, this year, we ordered the software, and then hopefully that'll all disappear on the audit, so.
Yeah, and it wasn't a finding, we didn't get any.
No.
It was just a notation in our management letter that this needed to be addressed, so there was no penalty, there was no.
Right.
It just needed to be, it was in our management letter.
So I think it's good, so I'll entertain a motion that, and we also, yeah, I don't know, I just question Charlene all the time, why can't we go with the fixed base system? Why do we need to go with the cloud? We went around and around. I want everybody to know I'm comfortable with what she's proposed, but it wasn't without me asking a lot of questions, right?
Yeah, which is perfectly fine.
Okay,
That's what
so-
you're here for.
With that, I'm good with it personally. I'll entertain a motion that we approve the purchase of the new
Sewer district software.
Sewer district software.
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Commissioner,
second.
okay,
Commissioner Kirschner? Commissioner Schuff?
Yes.
Yes,
Commissioner Paradiso?
yes, okay, thank you. Charlie?
Thank you very much.
Good?
We
You
appreciate
good?
it.
Yeah, he's just having a little bit of delay on
Right.
his end. We're just
Okay.
having a little bit of technical difficulties.
Kathy's here, maybe she can help you, Jimmy.
I have the quote here so that
We
Tony
send-
can sign off on it.
Okay, you give it to
I'm
her.
probably gonna leave at your
Okay.
executive session. I'd
Come
like to
back.
take it back with me
Okay,
so that I can get this over to them right away.
we'll get her
Thank you
done.
very much. Anybody else have any questions before I go sit down? We're good, great.
Good job, thank you, Paul, you good? Yep. Okay. So we have a bid opening. Can we go to that? For pavement resurfacing. Whenever we have a bid opening, we need a sign-in sheet passed for everyone in the room, please. And I'll turn it over to you, Stacy.
Sure.
Okay,
Can talk for a couple seconds so I get these open.
all righty. After the bid opening, we will have a broadband update. Looking forward to that. And yeah, moving along pretty good.
Okay, so this is again the 2022 pavement resurfacing. The engineer's estimate for this project is $808,538, 808,538.00. My first bid is Gherkin Paving Incorporated out of Napoleon. And I did have a gentleman that was sitting in the waiting room, sorry. Sorry, there was a bunch of people in here, so I told him I'd come get them when we read them.
Welcome. Hey, guys.
Sorry about that. So I'll just read that one again. The first one we have is Gherkin Paving Incorporated out of Napoleon, Ohio. Their total bid amount, page here, $776,832.09. 776,832. Is that 2 or 7? No, that's a 2. 0.09. Had to check to make sure.
Can you read that one more time?
I sure can. Let's use this page. 776,832.09. And my second bid is Hellman Sons Excavating out of Findlay, Ohio. Their total bid amount, $888,913, 888,913.00. And the last bid I have is from M&B Asphalt out of Tiffin, Ohio. Total bid amount, $794,739.95, 794,739.95. And those are the only 3 I have.
Okay, so we
Give
will
those-
turn those over to the engineer,
Yep.
and you guys can go. We came in for the bid, okay? Thanks for waiting, and
Or you can stay if you want to.
Thanks, guys.
okay, so it looks like we're right on time, 10:30.
Hope that worked out.
Yeah, it worked out great. Mr. DeVoli, come on up, please.
Good morning, everybody.
Welcome. Good to see you.
Good to see all of you folks. Good morning. My name is John DeVoli. I'm the director of Encore COG here in Tiffin, Ohio. And I'm joined this morning by Kathy Moore. She's our IT and professional development, and she does a lot of stuff at NCO ESC as well. I'm going to start off by giving the commissioners, and I'll give you one as well, a copy of the timeline. I think everybody received this at the opening.
Yep.
And I'll give one for you too, Stacy. An opening, we had a kickoff at our Encore COG annual meeting. And the timeline is basically benchmarks for where we're at different times. Right now what we're doing, and we have been doing, and they were actually doing this before the kickoff. The kickoff was on March 11th. It was a Friday, March 11th, and a lot of folks in this room actually were there. Even before the kickoff, we were already working. We were working, the folks you see on the screen, Ice Miller, Whiteboard, DLZ, TMPA, and of course us, our group. We've been working on this even before the kickoff and then since the kickoff. The biggest thing we're doing right now, as you see on the timeline here, is just doing an inventory of existing providers. I love this project because I'm finding something out new every day. When you think about, here is what we're talking about right here, the asset inventory. We're doing that since Valentine's Day, and it's we're done, actually done now. It's before the deadline. We're going to start talking to providers this week and next week. But in the room here, and commissioners, a little test for you here. How many providers do you think there are providing broadband internet services in Seneca County? Take a guess. Commissioner Schuff, you
6.
6. Okay, that's a good guess. Good guess.
I know the answer, so.
Don't say it.
Commissioner Kirschner.
Commissioner Kirschner, how many providers do you think are in Seneca County?
I would say there are probably more than 20.
Wow. There are, as of right now today, we're finding there's 22 providers in Seneca County.
I never knew that either.
I was shocked by that. Even Kathy Moore, who knows internet and broadband better than anybody that I know, she was shocked by it. Over 22 providers, and here's the list of them right here. There might be a couple more we're still looking into, and some of them provide, like Bascom. They're huge. They provide a lot of services. You have Spectrum, who I have in Fostoria, and then you have some of the mobile ones that provide, like AT&T, T-Mobile. All provide different amounts and different speeds and all that, but there might be even a couple more. We're still diving in a little bit deeper into the weeds on that. But 22 providers in Seneca County. Even with 22 providers, you're going to see some maps here in a second, and this is no disrespect to these fine organizations. Even with the 22 providers, we still don't have great coverage and great service in all areas of Seneca County. Some areas of Seneca County, we have great service, great speeds, fantastic service. And just for various reasons, because of the location, where the lines are, where the fiber cable's buried, there's a lot of folks that don't have great service in Seneca County. And we were amazed by this data right here. Do you have the next slide for us right here? And I'll just go over a couple more things very quickly, and then I'm going to turn it over to Kathy. Before we go into this one, let me just say, as of right now, I've been going out and having speaking engagements. The township folks were fantastic having me at their meeting. I've been to the Seneca County Kiwanis meeting and give a presentation. And basically when I go there, I just tell them the same thing. I'm going to Fostoria Rotary, Tiffin Rotary coming up here. I'm going to be on WTTF next week. And I basically tell them about electricity, water, sewer, gas, that the fact that those are basic, much needed utilities. And broadband in 2022 is a much needed utility. Then I go through a whole list of things that we did at our opening day kickoff. What's nice about it now is we have the survey. The survey is actually done now. I'm going to give all the commissioners, Kathy, you help me out.
Absolutely.
They're printed surveys and they're also online surveys. The printed ones are for folks like my mom. My mom's 85 years old. She don't like doing anything on the internet, as she calls it. She likes doing a paper survey and actually checking the little thing from doing that. So we do have paper surveys. Seneca East Public Library has been fantastic about having us set up like a little station there as you walk into the library. And then we went all the way to the other end of the county in Fostoria. At Fostoria, Colbish Memorial Public Library has a station set up as well. And then for right here today, for the commissioners, I'll leave this in your office. It's a little, this is what we've been using, just nothing fancy. It's a little, they call it a QR code. You don't have to take a picture of it, you just put your camera up to it and you'll see a little, you hit that little marking for where you go to, it'll take you right to the survey. So we'll leave this with you. If you can have it displayed out front somewhere, that'd be great.
Yep.
And we'll leave you a whole stack of the paper surveys as well. And we'll provide a bunch of these cards for you. And we're telling everybody is this, all the meetings I go to, I tell them, take this card home, and very important, don't do it on just your cell phone using your cellular service. Get an inaccurate reading of what your cell service, what your broadband service is. Connect to your Wi-Fi at home. Very important. We say that in the survey as well. And I ask them just to do the QR code, take the survey, and do me one more favor. Give it to one other Seneca County resident. You take the survey and give it to one more person. And by that way, we'll try to get a good range of folks doing it. They sent to me, I just got these FedEx yesterday. They're wonderful cards. They have my contact number on the bottom if somebody needs to talk to me. We also have the contact number of the person who actually is in charge of the survey, who handles the whole program back at TMPA, and they're doing it as well. So we'll leave some of these here as well. The other portion of the outreach right now is also talking to our schools. We're wonderfully situated. We're NCO ESC. That's my umbrella that's above me as NCOR COG. I'm working with our superintendent, Brendell. We're going to push out, after Easter break, we're going to push out an email to all the school superintendents in Seneca County, and also the school superintendents that have families that live in Seneca County, like Mohawk District. They're not actually in, the school building itself is not in Seneca County, but a lot of their families are in Seneca County. So we're going to reach out to all the districts around the edges of Seneca County and all the school districts that are in Seneca County. And we're going to ask them a simple favor. Send an email to all your parents, all your teachers, and have them do the survey. We want to know, and with that kind of coverage and those kind of that outreach with all those families, we should get a really good representation of what broadband, what the internet service is throughout the county. We're hoping and praying that we get a good return. Anywhere on the survey, if you get 10 to 15%, you're doing great. We're hoping for better. I'd like to get 25% feedback from the county on this. And with all the folks in the room here, the media and that, we would appreciate that. We're going to ask, is Advertiser Tribune here? You are Advertiser Tribune. I thought so. I wasn't sure. We're going to ask the newspaper if they could print this barcode in the newspaper. And I'll give you copies of it, and I can send you a good high-resolution copy of it. And then other online type of publications, they can just go click to that link and go right to the link. But if someone gets the Advertiser Tribune, a fine, outstanding newspaper, by the way, if this was in the paper, or when it's in the paper, all they got to do is take their phone and do the QR code and boom, right to the survey. So we're going to ask for their help as well. With that said, I'm going to turn over to Kathy Moore right now. She can go deeper into the weeds a little bit with some of these numbers.
Sure, we just wanted to share some of the data that's being collected as part of the study. And I'll show you where we're being able to, a dashboard, we're going to be able to see a lot of this data as well. So when John was talking about the 20 plus providers that we have in Seneca County, here's some of the things they're asking those providers. So they're asking this information of each provider and then by zip code. So they're collecting this data by zip code. They're asking for what speed they say they could offer in that zip code area. What percentage of that zip code area do they say that they cover? So for example, I'm in the Old Fort area. So for 44861, what percentage of 44861 do you say you can cover as a provider? They're asking for pricing, what the pricing is for an average homeowner, and then also what the contract timeline is. So is it a 1-year contract, 2-year, or is there no contract commitment? And then they're asking the type of service. Is it fixed wireless? Is it fiber, DSL, cable satellite, so on? And then they're also asking whether or not that providers apply for the Ohio Residential Broadband Expansion Program, and I'll go into that a little bit more. Go.
It's a little laggy.
So don't press it again, right? I'll try again.
Oh.
Oops, see, went too far. Okay. it's gonna go to the
It,
next
it
slide.
will.
So I just
It's
wanted
a
to pull
little
out a little bit of data too from what was also being asked as far as indicators of broadband study. I knew it was gonna do that. Let's go back. And be patient.
Didn't touch it.
I know. John didn't either.
I didn't touch it.
She'll be back there.
This laggy thing started this week.
Oh, did it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're so
Really get that right.
Well,
Is that
one
what's
of,
happening?
here we
Yeah.
go. So one of the things that I pulled out for you is that the percentage of households without internet access. How frequently are we talking now about the importance of internet access at home? We're talking about it being like a utility. So imagine looking at those percentages and imagine that was water. Imagine that was electricity. Those are the percentages of homes without internet. Those could be the percentages of homes without water. So that's the importance of what our broadband percentage. It may look like low percentages, but
It's all right.
that's a high percentage.
And these charts that she's talking about here that we've all been working on, our team is, I should say too, it's Kathy, myself, Brian Rupp, and then Stephanie Brown at our building. We have 4 people from our building working on this. But the crews have been working as, we were looking at the data last Friday, and it's just amazing, all the data, all the statistics they have, and all the different charts and graphs, and she'll show you some more of these, but there's been a tremendous amount of work that's already been done with it, and we're not even halfway there yet, and there's been a
No.
lot of stuff already. So it's quite
Pretty
a,
nice, Stace, isn't it?
it's quite a,
Pretty cool.
when you see these maps in a second, you'll understand what I'm talking about more.
So we also pulled out for you the Ookla speed test, download and upload. Now you look at the download data and you can see pretty much by the higher percentage where we have fiber and we have wired fiber. Those are likely most our communities as well. So those don't look so bad, but look at the upload. The importance of the upload anymore is we have more people working from home. We have students that are learning from home. And with that upload speed becomes important because they're uploading files. They're uploading their assignments to their teachers. So those percentages are, to me, extremely low.
Remember, the federal guideline is 25 download, 25 Mbps download, 3 Mbps upload.
now.
Those are old standards. They're really thinking. I told Kathy, I read an extensive article about this 2 nights ago. They're talking about going to 100. Because so many people are working from home. So many people, school children are having to do more and more stuff online. They're talking about doing 100 download will be the minimum, and 100 upload will be the minimum. That's not the standard yet. As we stand today, it's 25 and 3. 25 upload, 25 download, 3 upload.
And where I live, I am in one of those areas that is not very well served. I use my phone, and Jimmy just saw how difficult it was for me to connect from my phone even, and I'm trying to work from home. And it is a struggle. So I'm not even getting, oops, now we're getting a little janky.
That's why you see her car many times and many nights at
Yeah.
NCO ESC in Tippin,
Yeah,
Ohio.
work from there.
Yeah, you gotta work from there.
So part of this process, the study, DLZ is actually putting a really nice dashboard together for us where we're going to be able to see all this data they are collecting. Now, while this image is not very clear for us, if my link works okay, we're going to actually be able to go to the dashboard that they are creating.
And this will be a public document for the
Wait
commissioners.
for
You paid for this, and the citizens will have complete access to this as well.
So this, I am very impressed with this work that they are doing. So we are going to be able to look at this data, this GIS data by service provider. And you'll see just in this row, you also have a digital divide index graphic we'll be able to look at. I'm gonna go down and actually look and let's pinpoint this. The indicators of broadband need. So it will be a matter of clicking on that image. It'll then bring up your GIS data. Wait for it.
I need faster internet speed here, I believe.
I think it's
Are we
just our
doing a broadband?
screens.
Oh,
I think
your
it's our
screens.
screens. This is,
Oh,
the Zoom is connecting.
Okay, all
Oh, I
right,
see.
sorry.
connecting.
So sorry, folks on Zoom. It's our delay.
It's a,
So this will show then, you can see that the kind of mauve color is the where it needs greater access. And then it's again, John referred to the 25.3, and where it is not shaded, that's availability of 25.3. So this data is all available for you, and you can actually do the Google Earth view of that, so you can look for your own home if you'd like to see how that looks. And let me see if I can get back there.
And then the more data we get from folks doing the survey, this map will get better and better and better because we'll have more data. It's data driven, so the more data we have, the better the survey, the better the study. So that's why we're encouraging Seneca County residents to please take the survey.
This is impressive, it's very detailed, the
Uh,
survey.
Yeah, and it's on 3 levels, and we'll chat about that in a bit, but the level is basically the standard average Joe citizen, and also we can go into educational because the computer and the internet is so important with teachers and students. There's a whole level there for educators as well, and we'll get a really good idea of the internet speeds from them. We're hoping all the teachers in Seneca County do this survey.
Yeah.
So we'll have a very good idea of how they can communicate with their children if there ever was, God forbid, another time where they had to do at-home schooling. And this video here you see is a fine lad from, no, I'm just joking. While she's getting that ready, our plans going forward, we would like to get the committee to meet. I always say the name wrong. The Broadband, Seneca County Broadband Task Force. I'd like to meet with them within a week or so. I'll get a notice out. Working with, who's on the task force for the commissioners? Is that you? Or both you
like
are?
that.
I'll work
Both,
with
I
you. It's a
guess.
public
Yeah.
meeting, so we're not going to vote on anything, so it's fine for you folks to be there. Both of you to be there for that matter. We'll have that, just kind of give them kind of more of an update. We'll have more update for them as well, and that'll be one of our next steps. We're also going to be doing person-to-person contacts with in-person interviews with all the providers. We're going to send out emails to them, phone, we're going to call them, and we're also going to send them letters as well to get all, they may or may not want to talk. That's great. I know a lot of them already said they will and we'll be fine. And then also to educators. I know Adam's working on it with Bryce Riggs. We're going to get some business folks to be part of the stakeholders to talk to them. How's internet affecting how's internet affecting their small business? How is internet affecting their large business, their manufacturing businesses? And we already got several names from Adam, and I know Bryce is working on the list as well.
Good job.
It's not coming back up,
Okay.
but anyway, some of the other data that you're going to be able to see is where those service providers currently are, and where they actually had applied for it through the broadband expansion. So you'll be able to see all of that on this dashboard.
And a couple of cool things that I'm learning, and then share it with you. I have it, I think, back in there. Some of the libraries, there's folks that don't have internet at home, and they don't have broadband at home, and they just either can't afford it or they can't get it. It's both. I mean, it's varying. So they'll go to like Colbish Memorial Library, and they'll take their library card, and they'll check out it looks like a little box, their Wi-Fi hotspot. Seneca East, a public library, doing the exact same thing. They got 20 of them there, Colbish has 20 of them. And they're paying for that out of their own library budgets. And I'm not going to talk about funding now because that's part of the end of the study, but we'd like to look at funding possibly for helping those folks out, the libraries out, providing that service to people that it might take a year to get better broadband. It might take 5 years to get better broadband. We don't know. But as a stopgap in between, these Wi-Fi devices are fantastic for them. And they have a waiting list. The one has, Fostoria has 20 of them, and they have a waiting list of over 100 people.
Jeez.
So they get the next one, and they get it for 2 weeks. And if you're 1 day late, you start getting charged. And it's not like a library book; they get you. And it's a cool device, but the libraries can only afford so many of them. Do you have anything else?
I
on
never
that?
knew
I
that,
don't.
by the way, John. I never knew that.
I didn't know that. I kind of knew they did it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I know you were just talking this morning.
Child and Family Services.
Child and
is
Family
doing
Services
that.
is doing sort of the same thing. That might be a good venue. We could talk with the commissioners when the study's getting to completion about trying to find grants and funding mechanisms to possibly help them out and help the libraries out to provide more of those.
It's a great idea.
And it's not, and to all the providers we have, and we have some great ones in Seneca County, and you know all of them, I can go on all the names. There's not going to be a one-size-fit-all to get great broadband for everyone in Seneca County. It's not going to be a fiber running all the way to their house, to every house in Seneca County and being, boom, that's it. that's not logistically and financially reasonable. But there's other ways. So we're figuring that out right now. So I'm excited about it. It's kind of a fun thing. I get to do all kinds of very eclectic things at my job, and this is great working with Kathy there on this, and Brian and Stephanie. But working with, I got to tell the commissioners, DLZ, Ice Miller Whiteboard, TMPA, how I say it wrong, have been fantastic. We call them, and it's instantly, we return. Boom, 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 back and forth. Been very reactive to everything we're doing with them. We picked a good one.
They shine in those interviews.
Oh yeah, and it's been going, but we're not even halfway done yet. We got a lot of information for you. I can work with the media as well. We'll try to get that stuff to you folks, and then anything else you need, we'll update you again. Probably in 2 to 3 weeks, we'll come back and give you some more information. Now we're taking questions.
With the exception of the schools, are we putting those surveys out anywhere else, like the post office or local restaurants or high traffic places besides just schools and libraries?
That's a good idea. We didn't. I didn't think of that, but we'll make a note of that and get them out. Then
I'd be happy to put some out too. But I mean, there's some high traffic areas. Coffee shop.
I got 500 of these yesterday in the mail,
Coffee shop.
and I wouldn't mind getting these out at different restaurants, different areas. I like the idea of the post office. That's a good one. I could even give one of these little doodads in the post office. I think they'd be cool with that. But we thought for the printed ones, you guys have some. Fostoria and then Attica, it kind of gives a nice range, I think. I don't know.
There's some pretty well identified community gathering areas that we might be able to put some in.
Bryce, at the chamber, the big thing on the 28th, the breakfast meeting, myself and Superintendent Luring are going to that, and he's going to push these out to everyone's at that meeting, and then give a little talk about it or push it a little bit at his meeting as well. So the more we can do that, the greater it will be as well. And I know the chamber in Fostoria and FEDC, they're going to push it out into their emails and their monthly newsletter to all their people, and just do the study.
John, can I have one of the survey cards, please, so I can send it
Yes.
to the township?
Oh, and I should say, Charlene's been fantastic as well. And I always forget to thank people, but you've been really great to work with on that. And then I have more of that back at the office.
We're also
But
talking.
you've been very helpful pushing out to the townships and also to the villages, getting information out.
Websites, we can put them on websites as well. So if you have a community-based website, we can actually give you the high-resolution QR code to put there as well.
And I'm working with, I sent him the high-resolution QR code and also a copy of this to have on your website, and everybody keeps on sharing, but if we all keep on sharing, and Charlene does a great job of this too, it will eventually hit everybody in Seneca County, we hope.
Exciting stuff.
And I want you to know I'm wearing my Easter tie today. I don't wear this too often, but it's a nice Easter, nice pattern.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Kathy. John, nice job. Thank you.
Everybody.
Commissioner Kirschner, Mr. Schuff, any comments before executive session?
We can wait to
Did
executive
you
to
want
the
to wait?
end of
I was going to ask you
we can
that.
wait till the end.
We never type it. We never type it like that, though. Okay, so Commissioner Kirschner, we'll hold executive session to the end since we don't anticipate any action. So if that's okay, we'll move that down to the end if everybody's good with that. Commissioner reports. Mr. Schuff.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a busy week here at the Commissioner's office. We had a GLCAT meeting here this week, going over some policies. One of the big struggles, and I know all the businesses here in the area are feeling this, hiring issues, keeping talented help. With Great Lakes Community Action Partnership, they have these very good jobs, compensated very well. We have jobs that are paying $60,000, $70,000 a year, and they can't get people to apply or fill these spots. So workforce development continues to be a major issue. So we're looking at ways to be creative and try to figure out ways to address this and try to get people out there and back to work. So productive meeting there this week. Also to let everybody know, we're bringing back the Seneca County Sweep program again this year. We're going to be getting out to all the different villages, some of the different townships. So we're going to have some added features to it this year. I'm not going to say exactly what yet, but I'll be reaching out to all of our different mayors. See, we have Mayor Harrison there in the back, but this is no additional cost to the taxpayers. This is volunteer-based, community members, people from Ariana House, the jail, but we get out there into the townships and the villages, help do like a downtown cleaner sweep. So anybody that wants to partake in that, we'd love to have you, but we look to start that here middle to end of May. So looking forward to bringing that back again this year. We also had a meeting with Jim Jordan this week, got some legislative updates, which is nice because the way it's looking now, we're going to be losing Jordan as our congressman. We'll be gaining Bob Latta, but when we get these kind of updates from the federal level or from Congress, it kind of helps us plan and kind of helps us to foresee what's coming down the pipeline. But we had a very good meeting this week here with Congressman Jordan. As John DeBoy said, we continue to work on rural broadband. We'll be having some additional meetings on that here coming soon. Wanted to give a huge shout out or thank you to Sarah Betts at the Seneca County Park District. I'm really excited to see what's happening out there at Steyer Park with additional access to the river for canoes, kayaks, fishermen, that sort of thing. So I'm always impressed what they're doing out there at the parks. The more recreation we have, I think the better for the community, but just exciting stuff. So the launch Fall Astoria continues to move forward. I know they're getting applications in as far as that goes for the business contest. This is the second year that they're doing the business contest. I'm excited to see all the work that Sarah and Renee are doing over there, and I think we'll get some more positive results like we did last year with the creation of not just Beyond Laser Creations, but out of that contest, I want to say 2 or 3 of those people that applied or placed have their businesses open and operating, so it seems to be working. So kudos to both of them. Just a couple quick events. Kibler Shoes is having a ribbon cutting today at 4 o'clock at their new location, which is in the old AAA building here, just a little east of the amphitheater. They're also having a parade for Brody Conley today, a championship parade, which will be at 5 o'clock. And then third Thursdays are back here starting in April, which is like a downtown event for Tiffin. They're doing a blooming artist stroll. Will be the third Thursday, which is the 21st, 1 week from now. And then for May, I'll be taking that event. We're bringing back the parking lot party. We haven't had that since pre-COVID, but kind of a dog-themed event. Had a really good turnout the first year we did it, but bringing that back again here this year. So if you have a pet or 4-legged friend, feel free to bring them down. Lastly, I think that's about it, but
Mr. Zimmerman's here, should he bring one of his steers in?
I see we got the mayor on. I'll leave that question for him.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, nice report. Commissioner Kirschner?
Yeah, I spent some time this week with TSEP Executive Committee talking about the future of TSEP. Also, we will have some involvement as a representative as to some input as to the new Tiffin School Superintendent. So those are the things I spent some of my week on this week.
Good, thank you. Attended an annexation meeting over at the Learning Center with Hope, with Liberty, and no, with the other one, Loudon and Jackson. Where's Steve Nader? He's not here. Again, in the city of Fostoria, so they have a similar 20-year annexation arrangement as we have here with Tiffin, Clinton, Eden, and Hopewell. And so I thought that conversation went real well. Charlene kind of quarterbacked it, and I think they're moving along, and there were some good questions that actually came out of it. You know, sad day. On behalf of all 3 of the commissioners here, I attended a funeral in Sandusky County. Commissioner Schwoko, one of the 3 commissioners in Sandusky County, lost his son unexpectedly at age 38. And as all of us know, those are not, that's just was a tough time. So I went over there on behalf of all the commissioners, paid our respects, and back to Commissioner Kirschner and Schuff. Commissioner Schwoko says thank you. And then finally, I had some carry-out food at, help me out, with the Opportunity Park.
Oh.
The Palm Sunday dinner at Opportunity Center, and they commented on how hard you worked and how hard Mayor Harrison worked at taking out the equipment. Wonder if you guys are still sore from ripping that all out, but that was a great event.
Yes.
The cars were lined up all the way out to the road. They had like 800 dinners they served. And for 2.5 hours, the cars just kept coming around. It was really kind of a neat thing, really. So nice job out there with that. Your turn.
I have nothing today.
Okay, so you sure?
I'm sure.
All right. So any old business? Do you
Not
have
for me.
any old business? I don't have any. Commissioner Kirschner, any old business?
Oh, sir, continue.
Okay, moving on. New business.
Okay. Let's see, I have this follows our conversation from, it was the last week. I need an additional 80,000 in the capital improvement line for the engineer's office, the 2 projects we just discussed last week. I have a supplemental appropriation request from the engineer's office. This is from the box bid beams project. Need $476,528.66 into their contract projects line. I have a request from regional planning. This goes to the sewer district. So let's just read the totals. Each of the districts will need money into their capital improvement lines for the total of the $34,810.
Can I ask you a question here?
Sure.
Will we have another one of these for the maintenance fee?
Yes. Did you get, yep, here it is. For the, I have additional one for the capital improvement line for the total of 18,600.
Okay, so it's just not on here? Or am I missing something?
Did you get a new printout? Might not have
yeah,
got a new,
Right?
yeah, because it has, they'll have each. It has the,
Oh, so it's just not here.
right, yep,
It should, so
Yeah, this is
this is broke down,
3410.
but that 18 should be there.
Yep, yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I'm good. So it's broken down twice,
yep,
but the 18 should be next to the 34, which it isn't.
yep.
Okay, I'm good.
That one we
Thank you.
kind of put in at the last minute, just making sure, she was checking with Derek to make sure we could pay for it out of the capital improvement.
Okay,
Next one I have is a request at the sheriff's office to their comprehensive opioid stimulant and substance abuse program fund, requesting $36,000 into their supply line, $65,562 in their contract service line, $1,218 into their Medicare, $2,100 into workers' comp, $15,120 into their PRS for a total of $120,000.
so where does this come from? Is this in his budget?
Yeah, this is in his, the grant for the
Yeah.
comprehensive opioid
Yeah,
OSIP sort, abbreviation.
I got it. Thank you.
And then I have my paper ones. So I have a resolution authorizing the Seneca County Board of Commissioners to sign a satisfaction of mortgage for Stephanie Brendell for the satisfaction of her loan within Seneca County, work done through the Community Housing Improvement Program for 2006, 2007. The total will be a payoff of $13,701. Then I have a resolution setting time, date, and place to receive sealed bids for the OPWC Issue 1, Round 36, fiscal year, no, program year 23. Bid date will be Thursday, May 5th at 10:30 a.m. here at the Commissioner's office. I have a resolution authorizing, oh, this is one you already did. That was a sewer district.
Okay.
And then I have a resolution authorizing the Seneca County to enter into a joint cooperative agreement with the City of Fostoria, the City of Tiffin for the program year 2022 funding under the Community Housing Impact and Preservation. And this is for GLCAP. And then I have a resolution accepting the petition and granting the annexation for the Village of Bettsville for parcels of land in Liberty Township, Seneca County, Ohio. And I don't Mr. Harrison's here today if you guys had any questions, and we do have some maps to sign. And that's all I have right now.
Yeah, I'll accept the motion to approve this, and then Mayor Harrison, if you would mind, just kind of give us an overview. But you want to come up now?
It's whatever you want me to do.
What do you think? Let's vote on it, and
I'll make a motion that we approve the new business and supplemental appropriations as presented.
Second,
roll call, please.
Commissioner Kirschner,
yes.
Commissioner Shaw,
Yes.
Commissioner Brady.
Yes. Now, with that, we'd like to invite the Village of Bettsville Mayor to come forward. And I know you've worked really hard on this, and I think for the benefit of the county citizens, if you could give us a...
So I want to appreciate the county commissioners voting on this, and this has been a long-term project. I guess it's been going on for almost 15 years. They started the process when the village acquired the park from basically incorporated. The land was outside the village corporation limits, so the process was trying to get into our corporation so we could actually use the police department and everything and patrol it and stuff like that. So it's really good for the community, and then we want to help use this as an economic development for the village of Bettsville as well. So that's what the whole goal was, and I wanted to get this in, and that way insurance and all that stuff covers the facility. So it's roughly about 49 acres. So that's a huge amount compared to what the village of Bettsville was. So again, I appreciate everybody, and it's going to be good for the overall Seneca County community when we get done here.
We're gonna have to change all of our county maps now. You guys just had a nice little chunk there. To the
Well, I just finally
county
figured it
map.
out, and you guys are changing, so we'll be okay though. But I appreciate everybody's help. And,
Yeah, it's great. Thanks for all your hard work.
Oh,
And,
it-
anybody
took a lot more
have
effort
any
than I
questions?
realized.
Any
Any
questions
questions?
for the mayor?
I appreciate everybody.
You
Thank
good?
you. We're good. Thank
Thank
you.
you. All righty. Thanks for coming. Okay.
Just curious.
Am I missing anything?
Did you guys vote on that?
We voted on this, yeah, on your...
Nope, that's all I have.
Okay, so we will, before we go in executive session, we do not anticipate any action, so we'll take care of public comment now, if that's okay with everybody. Looking at the crowd,
Good luck.
Adam, you good? Come on up, that'd be great. If you guys don't mind, if we can continue to stay in the habit of introducing ourselves, I think that's good. We've got a little off track sometimes on that because we know each other, so officially, if you would do that, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm Adam Gilmore. I'm the TSEP Development Coordinator. Just a quick update on the Seneca CEO program. Madison Beard was recognized by a national pitch competition last week, I believe. So the program is really churning out some interesting projects and really promoting our entrepreneurs here in Seneca County. We're excited to see how it's going. Applications are still open for the second year of that, and we would encourage anyone who is interested in the CEO program to apply. It's a great program for seniors in high school, drawing on folks from around the county. So if you're interested, please, we're hoping some of these businesses really become long-term prospects in the county, and they're very interesting, so thank you.
Just a quick question, Adam, I'm sorry. Out of that group that we have in the CEO program, are most of them from one school district or another? Do you know?
So they're from a few school districts. I can't name them all off the top of my head. Madison Beard, for example, is from Seneca East.
Okay.
So a couple districts in the county have their own entrepreneurship classes. So those students tend to go with those classes rather than the CEO program, though we would still encourage those individuals to apply. So it varies, but every school district in the county is eligible.
Great.
Is North Central, you're aware of this, the CEO program?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Mike?
Commissioner, yeah, the CEO program, I happen to sit on that board, and I can tell you it's doing great things. A lot of kids getting interested in what's happening. It is a step beyond the typical entrepreneurial programs that happen in the high schools. I mean, these kids are actually starting businesses. They're going to have Bankers Day, quote unquote, which they try to get funding for. There are some logistic problems trying to get the kids, for example, in Astoria involved, because it is a trip back and forth and how they're gonna do that with other sports and, activities. But, it is a growing program. Kudos to Reverend Gerlach, Aaron, who is, handling this on a regular basis, and all the folks, that are involved in this. The people on the board have taken it very seriously, and, the program is gaining some real speed and also some results. So it's great to see these kids grow from an idea to an actual product, and they've already sold their products at various sites, and they and to continue to do that. Whatever work, one of the young adults with the product, and whether it be the farmer's market or some other area, please do so.
Good stuff.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Anybody else? Ken, you good? Okay, Mr. Zimmerman's back. Come on up.
Thank you. Rollin Zimmerman. At the last meeting, I was somewhat critical of our museum. I hadn't been there for a long time. I had an opportunity to have a semi-private tour, and it's unbelievable, the change in the museum. And I'm really excited about our new director and what she has been doing at the museum. And I know it's a long process, but in my opinion, a very important topic that I thought was the old home kids. She's doing a special issue on that because they are part of our history. But I want to just say I am excited about what's happening at our museum. Thank you.
Thank you for saying that.
Thanks for clearing it out.
Anybody else?
Oh,
Yeah. Come on up.
My name is Paul Eichhoff, and I sit on the Seneca Regional Planning Board, and we just have a request, I guess. We sent a letter out as a request to look at with the renovations of the CSB building, the wall there, and changing that around, and to the health department, why we had an access out of our office space to the north with a doorway, and in them renovations, that doorway is being closed, which now limits the access or egress to our office space to one point, and that point comes up to a vestibule, and it's shared with the Board of Elections and with Seneca Regional Planning, and then out to the street, to the general public. And our concern with that is cutting that down to only one access. There was a while back a little incident with a disgruntled citizen of Seneca County with the election board, and kind of was in front of that and blocking the vestibule or any access that we could get out of the building, except for that door that is currently to the north now. And we're just wondering, because what ended up happening, the election board called Seneca Regional Planning, and our employee could lock our door to secure that and then go out the other exit, where once we would lose that doorway to the north, we would not have any other egress except out the front. So what we're asking, at least, is if the commissioners could look into looking for another point of egress in that space, and checked into it a little bit, and there may be a spot where a doorway could be cut in and go back into the hallway, back into the health department for another point of egress, just for safety of our employees and any other general public that is there, in case we would have to leave for either another situation like that or fire or anything. We would have another point of egress out the building. So we're just here asking if you could please investigate it and see if there is any way that we could get another point of egress.
So we talked, Stacy and I talked yesterday, we got your letter, we turned John Loxton loose on it.
Oh,
Excuse me, so we'll get back to you next week.
okay, sure.
He was gonna call, I believe, the architect.
Oh,
Is
okay.
that right?
Yep.
And, with the building, and just, we're gonna let him do what he does, he's the maintenance guy.
Sure, yeah.
And then we'll get back to you.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Oh, we greatly
Thanks
appreciate
for,
greatly appreciate that.
bringing that to our
It's-
attention.
Just out of curiosity, for my own information, what did the architect take that out for a particular reason, or just?
There was, I know just because of the, not being it wasn't required, we researched whether by code it was required, and just saving on the,
I think it was parking.
creating the entrance, ADA accessible, if it would have to be ADA accessible, since we were changing it, it would take out a couple of parking spaces, because we'd have to go out further, but I'll have John get a better description
We'll
and
get-
clarify that.
We'll
but-
get a formal answer back
Yep.
that explains everything.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question, but that whole walls, yeah.
Yep.
I really don't know the exact answer. Commissioner Kirschner, are you good with any comments?
Yeah, I mean, whatever, don't want anybody harmed, right? But we also have to consider the handicap accessibility to the health department. And, if it's possible, within a reasonable cost, and I say we look at it, but, I hope there's a way to do that. There's no way to enter back to the health department from the east side of the building, from the east side of the office.
I think there's one door.
I think that's what you're talking about, cutting a hole.
Yes.
That would be the east side, right?
That'd be north
Yeah,
side.
To the back. I think the north is where the door is
It's
now.
behind Crystal's
It would-
desk, there might be an area.
Yeah,
It would be to the east.
east, yeah.
Yeah, so I think, Commissioner, that's what the request is, and that's what John Logson's looking into. To see if we can do that. And I don't know, I haven't talked about it since. We good? Is that a fair statement? Okay.
But,
Thank you.
appreciate
Yeah.
looking into it. Thank you
Thanks.
very much.
Good. Anybody else? Jimmy, open her up to,
Yep, and I put something in the chat asking if anybody wanted to talk. I didn't see anything, but if you are joining us via Zoom and you'd like to speak, if you're on the phone line, I think it's *6 if you want to unmute. But if you are on the computer or your mobile device, you can hit the unmute button and come forward now. I think we are clear.
I'll make, if there's no comment or no more public comment, I'll make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss personnel at 11:16.
I will second.
okay, roll call?
Commissioner Kirschner,
Yes.
Commissioner Shaw,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradisi.
Yes.
I'll
So-
call you, Mike.
So we're going to, we will come back to formally end the meeting, but you can stay or you're free to go. We're gonna go back to executive session.
Okay, we're back from an executive session. It is 11:44. I'll make a motion that we come out of executive session.
So moved.
Okay, we have a first and second.
Second,
Roll call.
sorry.
Commissioner Kirschner?
He said he wasn't gonna hop back on.
Okay.
Drop it off.
Commissioner Shuffle?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradisi?
Yes. Okay, so now that we're out of executive session, it's 11:44. Meeting is adjourned.